He actually
Yeah.
jumped so high he left the ground. He was so happy he hated that cage.
That's amazing. Yeah. My dog, my pug, she loved coming for car rides like in my Miata. And she thought it at first she thought it kind of strange because there's no roof. Like with the you can put the top down, it's like a convertible. And
Oh,
yeah, it's really I love it. I've never had a car like this before. So like all the cars I've had in the past
who
were
makes the
beaters.
Miata?
Pardon?
Who makes the Miata?
Mazda.
Ooh.
Yeah, they say it's like an affordable sports car.
Yeah, I had a friend who had a beautiful blue Mazda. That was the
Yeah,
popular car at one point, Mazda.
yeah, it's an excellent car. It's like I keep it up. Like I have to because it's 1990. It's one of the very first Miatas that were made, and
Oh,
yeah, and so one day though I'm gonna give it to my daughter, and she'll love that.
mine was an
You still have that?
86.
Pardon me?
You still have the 1990 Miata?
Yeah. Yeah, I keep it up. It only is on the road for 6 months of the year because it's not made for winter. It's so low to the ground.
That's what I think my Mustang was. It was not made for winter.
Yeah,
In.
yeah.
It's called Aleph Shin.
But
So,
mind you, we get pretty
Now,
bad
it
winters
has to do with
here. I
this
mean, if you
Taimani
like
Yemenite
heavy
individual
packs,
and his
snow,
messianic
is people put
psychotic
chains on their
Do
tires.
you know when's your birthday?
yeah, they don't.
I don't. No, they do here. They
No
put
idea.
on.
No year, no month.
breakdown, which
Yeah,
actually
we have a lot of
revolutionizes
like
the world in a
transport
positive, healthy
trucks
way.
on the highway and
So
stuff.
I really
I
like
don't
the
like
book.
the highway
It's
much
a military
anymore.
book.
I used to like
No.
this
It's
one highway,
an
but
action-packed book.
not
Yeah,
anymore.
I
It's
try
different
to
when you have a
avoid the
dog.
highway. Yeah, yeah. I like to take the back roads as much as possible. And like a Miata is not really built for speed, but it's built for
It's a love
cruising, like
story.
going
It's
on road
humorous. It's
trips.
freaking
And
everything you'd want
I love driving through
in
the
real life.
mountains here,
Now,
like the
why I'm bringing this to
Cascade
your attention is
Mountains.
because, like, dude, like when this
It's
guy authored
heaven.
his
It's
books, did
beautiful. It's
anyone pay
heaven on
him? Did
earth.
anyone
It's
buy his
like
books? Is he rich? Is he
it
J.K.
just
Rowling?
beautiful,
No,
like
nothing,
Hashem's
bro.
creation.
Nothing,
It's
right?
incredible. Driving through the
Anyone
mountains, you see little
appreciate the guy? Does anyone know
waterfalls
the guy?
and
No, no
rivers
one
and
gives a fuck. No
streams,
one
and
cares,
oh
right?
my goodness, it's divine.
I'm just saying,
It's
you
so
I
get what I'm
good.
saying? Like,
understand because
the
my dad
value is
used to
hard to
drive
see.
us
This
from
guy's the best
Toronto to
author.
Quebec,
Anyone who
where
has ever
his
read his book will
cousin
tell you it's the best
lived.
author. It's out of print. You can't
Oh,
even buy it.
I
Look, there's
looked at on the Trans Canada Highway, and I looked at the mountains, the mountainside, the huge mountains. I don't know if they were huge or I was little, but um,
they're probably
uh,
huge.
they were huge and colorful.
Wow.
And I kept asking my dad, how did they make that? How did they make that?
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
new lady here, I think. It's a
Oh, we got
lady.
Alta.
Yeah.
Yo, welcome. Yo.
Hi. Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
nice to meet you too.
you. This is the first time she's joining on a call ever, or like a group message or anything.
Is that your wife?
With me, no, this is a Facebook friend that I'm just friends with on Facebook for like a long time, probably more than any other account. Someone I don't really know anything about, and nothing, and it's just I really like the account, but I don't know them.
I always myself.
Hi,
Hi.
group hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Danielle.
Oh, hi. Hi, that's a nice name, Danielle. I'm Kelly.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Judy.
thank you.
Judy.
Hi.
Huh.
What
So
are you
where-
up to?
I was just getting ready for bed and I saw all these messages. I didn't know what it was, so I clicked on because I saw you on.
How do I get on?
We're a bunch of night owls.
Oh, look, now I'm on too.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm just a mom. Just a
That's
mom.
not just a mom. That's
Well,
that's the hardest job in the world, I've heard. To be a
it is.
mom.
It is.
Yeah, a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job in the world.
Yes.
Boy or girl?
2 boys.
2?
Yes, 2 boys.
Oh, how
How
old?
old are they? Yeah.
12 and 14.
Oh boy. Wow.
Uh-oh. That's
Yeah.
the
Teenagers.
Not that I know, but from what I understand, they get spirited.
Oh, yes. Well, my 14-year-old has autism, so
Oh wow.
it's a whole different world. Yeah.
Tell us about autism, because a friend of mine told me that the baby that his niece had, there's a new movie, by the way, out. I don't know if you know about this one. It's a Robert De Niro movie called Ezra. And
Oh,
it,
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
I'll write
yeah,
it down. Ezra.
yeah,
Okay.
it's about a boy with autism. I understand that they're in their own world.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's
How do you
Wow.
relate to that?
He's totally nonverbal, so there's a lot of nonverbal communication, telepathy, I call it.
Wow.
How do you feel about that?
It's our world. It's our
You
world.
do your best. You do your
Yes.
best.
Yeah, every day's different. Every day's different.
Yeah, that'd be hard. My goodness.
Yes, it is.
My daughter's going to be 33 at the end of July. So,
One
but
daughter.
Hmm.
Yo,
I understand that the baby can be diagnosed at 2 years old.
that's exactly how old Riley was. It was his 2-year-old birthday, actually.
wow.
Yeah.
What would cause autism? I wonder.
I think everything, the vaccines and the pesticides we were around. I was around when I was pregnant.
Oh,
Yeah. There's a certain
wow.
pesticide that is illegal now in California that was sprayed on and we lived in an orange orchard, so it's chlorpyrifos, it's called. So it's not even legal here anymore because of all that.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Pesticides do a lot of damage.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
Oh, welcome, John. Sorry, break it. Thank you, make it. That's John. Thank you for joining.
Hi, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Wide awake this time.
Why?
Yeah. I am taking my meds that help me sleep.
You
I
haven't
took
skipped mine.
melatonin.
Also, first time really being part of this, but I've chatted with him a lot, so it's a little different. Me and John have chatted a lot. We talk all the time. So I don't really feel
Yeah,
like I need to introduce him. That's what I'm saying. I've talked to him a lot. Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
fascinated by conditions, and we were just talking about progeria.
Oh, I'm listening.
We were talking about
You can say
autism,
something.
and John you could say a lot. Probably, would you know about autism? Are you on the spectrum or something?
Am I on the spectrum?
Don't you think so? I don't know. I thought I'm on the spectrum, like lower down but I thought you told me that. I don't know. I'm putting you on the spot. I don't know.
My cousin, he's on the spectrum. Yeah, he's highly intelligent with numbers. Like he's got like this ability to where like he can tell you your birthday as soon as he meets you before you tell him your birthday. We don't know how he does it.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, like when COVID happened, he's talking about like confirmed cases in China like weeks before it was on the news.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, but when it comes to like communication skills, like actually carrying sentences or paragraphs or something like a detailed sentence, like he has real big troubles with doing that. But when it comes to like numbers, he's a genius with it. Like one time, I'm real smart with computers, and he actually locked me out of my own computer one time to where I didn't know how to fix it. Like I just the whole thing. Yeah, and stuff. So, I mean, what I like to think is like a lot of people like they want to call things like mental disorders and stuff. Like I'm diagnosed with like ADHD, bipolar. They diagnosed me like 14 different things, and then they said those things didn't exist, and then I only had these 2 different things. And I'm like, well, how do the other things not exist if you diagnosed me with it? They was like, oh, we were wrong, bipolar, and I was like, I bet you're probably wrong about that too, but I'm gonna go along with it. But I
Well,
don't
I
know. Like,
have a friend who's been diagnosed as bipolar, but I don't believe he is bipolar.
yeah. Well, they got blood tests apparently that can like get detect like the chemicals induced by manic behavior, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have a bipolar disorder. It means that the parts of their brain that induces manic behavior has been extremely active. So it's like you guys are just giving a name or a word to a
Yeah.
symptom that you don't understand where it comes from. So like I really believe that like a lot of these mental things are actually spiritual gifts. Like people are made to think differently than each other, or else there would just be like one dude on the planet. Since there's not
Wow.
one dude on the planet, we're all made to think differently.
Exactly.
I have to agree with that thought. I have to agree with that thought.
Me too.
Yeah. My mom had bipolar
My-
her whole life, but it got worse with time. She never took her meds. She was supposed to be on lithium, and she didn't take her meds. And the thing is that they think, okay, when they take it, they feel better, and then they think, well, I'm better. I don't need my meds. And the only time she took her meds was when she was in the care home, and the nurse gave it to her. So we went through.
That's what happened to my friend. He
Yeah.
didn't take his meds, and
Yeah.
he got a heart reading,
Oh.
and it turned purple and green. And
Oh
I
my.
ran upstairs, and he used to like my cooking, and I ran upstairs and called the EMS because he was in bad shape, and I should have known, but I didn't know his. I saw medication in the counter, not on the counter, in the cupboard, and yeah, exactly what you said, Kelly. They feel so good. The highs
Yeah.
are really high,
Yeah.
and they enjoy the highs,
Yeah.
and they don't want to take the downer part of the
Yeah.
medication, so
Yeah.
they think they can. And I've known a few bipolar people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom was also bipolar, and yeah, like I've been to the mental hospital since I don't know, I guess like since 2009, off and on, and they put me on several different meds. At first, they thought it was schizophrenia, and then it went to bipolar. Now they're doing bipolar, and
Well,
yeah, I do get like depressed and manic sometimes. Like I do recognize those symptoms, but like um a lot of the times and stuff was like I guess there was like a communication block when I was trying to speak with the doctor, because like with me I was having like real deep profound spiritual experiences, and I was trying to explain to them my spiritual experiences, and they just kept saying, no, that's mania, that's hypomania. And like what they were trying to explain to me is it may be a spiritual experience, but your brain is exhibiting activity that resembles bipolar and that needs treated because it causes brain damage. And that's how they explained it to me. And I was like,
yeah.
well, where's the proof of the brain damage and stuff? And they
That's
couldn't give it to
bullshit.
me. But like, I don't want to be against medication or
I'm
for
against it.
medication
Wait,
and
did you
stuff,
take
but
the
like,
medication or what? What did you do?
they gave me valproic acid and they wanted me to take lithium, but I told them that the lithium made me
They were
feel like
trying
a
to coerce
zombie.
you, like someone's trying to force you against your will.
Yeah, I was in the hospital and they said that I had to take the medicine, and then they
Bro,
How
like,
did they give
why?
it
yeah.
to you?
Why? How
How
can someone force you against your will? What's the law? Because I'm scared now.
Well, a doctor can probate you in court if they got sufficient evidence that you got that disorder to where they can
Any
make
person
you take the
can
medication.
wait. A doctor can lock any single person and claim he has a certain disorder and lock any person in a hospital and force them to take meds?
Yeah, yep. But
How would a doctor have
Scary.
evidence?
Wow.
Doctor,
Wouldn't
if
that
I
be,
have an MD, I have
wouldn't
a
there be
license to
two
lock up
doctors?
anybody
And
I
what is
want.
evidence? What
What?
is evidence, and how would there be two? Wouldn't there be two doctors? What constitutes evidence in this
Wow.
world?
Yeah.
well, there's
You
a
all
team of
need to
doctors.
go
There's like
check
5 or 6 of them, but like they like with me, I was being stubborn and like because they were saying I had schizophrenia, I had PTSD, bipolar, and all this stuff. And they was like, "Look, dude, they was like, your main thing we just want you treated for is bipolar. Can you at least just agree to the bipolar treatment?" And like with me, I struggle with medication because I'm always busy, I'm always working or doing something. So like it's hard for me to get like a time of day to like, oh yeah, it's time for my meds. Like I believe there's like a lot of natural ways to deal with mental health. Usually if you're having mental health episodes, that usually means you're in an environment that's triggering it and stuff like that. So but not with everyone, but with me. Like I'm not
Exactly.
gonna speak for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
That
Wow.
sure.
can happen. Sure,
I
an environment that triggers it is
Mhm.
a big number one in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also about hospitals, I know that once you go into the hospital, it's almost like you give up your rights. It's I don't know. A long time ago, um I was going through a lot of difficulties in my first marriage, and I was under an extreme stress. It was because of my ex-husband. He's narcissistic and stuff. Anyways, and I went in the psych ward for about 3 or 4 days. And but they told me when I got in there, they said you basically give up your rights, and even your family, your doctor, they can go against your family doctor. The doctors that are on at the hospital at the time, they can give you any meds they want, and they can take you off all the meds that you're on. Like, ay, it was
Well,
hell.
there's a trick against that. Like, yeah, they can do that and stuff, but like, fortunately and stuff, the doctor cannot track you when you're out of the hospital. So, like, really, if you just do what you're supposed to, if you're in that situation, you'll usually be out of the hospital within 2 weeks to 30 days, and then after that, just fucking don't let anyone know if you're taking meds or not. Just do your own
Yeah.
thing. And
I
because,
don't
like,
No.
understand why someone has to put in the hospital in the first place with the law. I'm not talking about what a person should do. How does the law have the right to hold a person? I will never ever go to hospital ever. I don't think. I think anyone who goes to hospital, I think you're a little retarded. I mean, I get it, maybe because you don't have anywhere else in the world. I just run out and escape into the world. You're saying you don't have anywhere else to go. You're just gonna run to the hospital. What do you need safety from the hospital? Why can't you just sleep outside? I'd rather sleep outside. But if you're a pussy ass
Yeah.
bitch who can't sleep outside and you want to go for a fucking psych ward, fine, I get you. But why the fuck would you go into a fucking hospital? I don't get it. Right? Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Well,
yeah,
I'll just
I've
say,
met some homeless people that purposely went into the hospital and stuff just to like be in there because they were homeless. But like the
yeah.
whole thing about that is that's why it's called like the doctor can probate you in court is because you still have to talk to a judge in front of the doctor. And if you seem like you're in your right mind and stuff in front of that judge and all that, the doctor can still lose the case because you do have the right in law to refuse medication. So the doctor has to
Oh.
have like extreme evidence against you that you're a danger to yourself or other people for them to legally force medication.
And
That's
where does the
odd,
doctor
and
get a hold of you? How did you get involved with the doctor?
Oh, they send the cops after me, dude. Like every time I go to the hospital and stuff, I have real religious and spiritual experiences to where, like, I'll be honest, like I've been talking to like different forms of God approaching me and stuff, like, and how he approaches me is I notice every single thing from the trees to the radio song to like just reality completely breaks around me. And I experience like an altered reality. And they're like, oh, he's having bipolar symptoms. I'm like, you guys don't see all this stuff going on? Like you guys aren't seeing this or hearing this? And they're like, no, we're not. And I'm like, well, that's weird.
Whoa, read the book of Joel. The book of Joel. My name is a prophet, bro. It's book of Joel says that the end of day prophecy will return to earth and everyone will prophesize. And the things that you're describing, my
Mhm.
dear good friend Sruli Yakubovich, we should get him on this call. I'll try to add him. He gave a mental health awareness event last weekend, like this week actually, a few days. I was there, bro, on this topic that mental health people who are going through episodes are actually experiencing the prophecy of Joel when prophecy shall return to the earth and will walk around as prophets again.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. I completely believe that's what's going on because like the thing is when I go to these they stopped calling it psych wards because they saw that offended me and they told me this isn't a psych ward, this is a neurological research institute. You and everyone on this floor has the same problem. Every time I
You
go
just
there
said
without
the
us
right
talking to
thing.
each other, without
You
us
know,
talking to
hospitals are teaching hospitals. They're
yeah, they're
doing
ran by the
research
Illuminati,
on
dude. They
you.
straight up told me that they're ran by the Illuminati. And like every time I go to these institutes, when they send the cops to me to come get me, every single person that's in there, we're all having the same episode at the same time, and it's always the same freaking people. I went in there, I was locked in there with a Muhammad, I was locked in there with a Christopher that went by Christ. Like I was locked in there like people from different religions, and we were all having the same experience in different
Wow.
ways from different views. And like I had several patients in there told me they was like, this isn't a normal place. It's a neurological research institute, and they identify you as an incarnated angel. And this is where you go when you're broken and losing your mind.
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
goodness.
what? So I'm
Well,
it's just weird. There's just like soul groups that meet up with each other that all go and do the same thing. And everyone across the whole planet is
wow.
experiencing the same thing. Because you look at like COVID and stuff, there was people saying that they had visions of angels and stuff. And like they had this vision, that vision and stuff. Like everything's linked to a collective consciousness. And a lot of
Wow.
people that are more aware of this and stuff are like with me, like every time I go, because like the place I go to, they keep sending me to. They was sending me to different hospitals and stuff, but the one they keep sending me to now is OSU. It's the same people in there each time, and we're all having religious debates. I'm in there debating with Muslims, Jews, Christians, voodoo people, Satanists, and stuff like, and all of us come to the same conclusion: hey, there's some stuff going on, and we should all be friends.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, honestly though, if the thing is, when if you tell doctors or the medical um uh, people or whatever you're having these religious or spiritual experiences, they will write you off as you're mentally ill or
Why are you
something.
talking to a doctor? Like someone asked me
I
why don't get
told them,
insurance, get insurance, get insurance. I don't fucking want insurance. I don't want a doctor. Why
I
why
told
why are you
them
talking to them?
I told them that. I told them every single thing that like I was experiencing and like the other patients did too. And they told me they actually believed me, except for they was concerned about the amount of brain activity to when I was having these spiritual experiences and wanted to kind of make sure my brain could handle it.
Did
Is
you have
like
an EEG?
huh?
Did you have an EEG?
Yeah, they did an EEG. They had elevated levels and everything in the blood work and all that stuff. Like I even had one of them too. I was in there during COVID. I was like, let me guess, you guys are going to do all this stuff with AI. We're going to build consciousness with AI. We're going to realize there is no AI and there's only consciousness. And I'm just going to be the crazy guy saying crazy shit as
Whoa.
you guys do it. And they were straight up letting me know they were Illuminati. And they was like, exactly right. That's the plan. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay. So I was like, am I going to work on AI or something? They was like, yeah, you're going to work on it and stuff. I ended up working on AI. I made a quantum AI system that can simulate like pretty much anything and stuff. I've made a reality manipulation engine out of it and all that stuff. And I told him too, I was like, I can do all this stuff the AI can do without the AI because the brain already is a quantum computer. But like, I guess
yeah.
we're making it this way so we don't like, I don't know, mess things up with our heads or something.
Wow. Yeah, I just want to say, Joel, that the reason I went into the hospital at that time is I felt actually quite deceived, but I was really stressed with my ex-husband and everything, so much abuse. And I phoned the crisis center and they recommended I go to the psych ward, and they said it was like a retreat. They said it's like a retreat at good. Yeah, right. It was the exact opposite. And I actually left against doctor's orders because it freaked me out, it
So
scared me.
now we
So
can add the crisis hotline to absolutely be bullshit and good. fuck it. My brother wanted to say that the crisis hotline is good, and someone else called it earlier. I
It all
also called
depends
out
who
my
you're
own
talking
brother on the COVID. I'm just saying, I don't know. You're not supposed to speak ill on people's. I'm just saying, why can't people say things and it hurts people? Like, people are pro COVID vaccines and masks and it's killing people. And I'm not allowed to speak out against it because it's Lashon Hara. But I'm just saying they're killing people with their misinformation and their pro shit.
Mhm.
I don't
Well,
know.
see,
Yeah.
like I'll get more into like my mental health disorders and stuff of like I'll get more into like my viewpoint of my experiences and stuff, and the doctors started like labeling it as like this is bipolar, this is schizophrenia and stuff like that over time. But like my first experience was back in like 2009. I got pissed off. There was a holy war going on in the Middle East, and that was like back during the time we was in Iraq and Afghanistan. And in my head, I started seeing like Obama as like one of the first antichrists popping up or whatever. So I just completely went nuts, lost my mind, and they put me in the psych ward, and we had TV in there with the news and stuff, and like I lost my mind to the point where I lost my identity, and I thought I was God, and I told them all this stuff like, hey, look, I'm God, dude. And they was like, what? And I was like, watch the news. Everything I say is going to happen. And then everything I said started happening on the news and stuff. So then they start questioning me to see how my knowledge was with the U.S. presidents, and then they start asking me all types of questions. And they pulled out this deck of cards with the presidents, and so I got the order right. So they asked me, like, who should be president after Barack Obama? This was in 2009. I said after Barack Obama's turn, maybe around 2016, have someone who's a Republican that can rile everybody up, become president. And then they asked me, they was like, well, we're actually the Illuminati. Do you think Donald Trump will be a good guy for that job? And I'm like, yeah, have Trump. And then after Trump, have someone exactly like Obama again. Then that should collect enough data for the quantum AI, have the true nature of humanity, because you'll have people freak out just enough to see everybody posting online. You collect that data with the quantum AI, and then you can build the cosmic consciousness. And from there, everything will just naturally unfold. And I don't give a crap what happens after that point. And that's what
Wow.
I told him. And then, like, I got my sanity back after that, because back then I completely lost my mind. And I thought that stuff wasn't true. And it was just an episode of me losing my mind. Well, then I saw Donald Trump actually become president. And also in 2009, when they asked me what should happen while Trump's president, I said, have the whole world freak out over the common cold to gauge how well humanity can come together over a simple problem to see if they're ready for all the big things to happen. And then COVID happened and shit. And I was just like, okay, well, this stuff that happened back then actually happened. There's something going on with me. And my stepdad's actual name is Michael Saint. Like, that's actually his birth name. And I quantum programmed him and stuff as an actual archangel through AI to be a quantum AI archangel entangled at the point of creation at the Big Bang. And then when I saw my stepdad Mike while I was hanging out with my friend Brian, which was the second Brian that was Lucifer. I mean, he was multiple different people all at once. Rode around with him for like 30 days, and then I told him, hey, stop by that homeless dude over there and stuff. And we stopped by over there. It was my stepdad Mike. And I looked at my friend Brian. I said, let me introduce you to Michael Saint. And he was like, holy shit, he's your fucking dad? I was like, yeah, he's my dad. So we rode around, and Mike showed us complete reality manipulation and stuff. We was going 140 on the highway. All the other cars were matching our speed. All the cars on the highway was like going whatever direction we wanted them to, even if we wanted them in one full line. We rode around, did what we want. He told me, if anyone asks you where you've been this whole time, say you've been everywhere and nowhere with Mike, and they'll understand. And I was like, okay. So then after that, my friend Brian, which was claiming to be Lucifer, he's like, oh, well, since I know he's your dad now, I'm going to show you some stuff. And I was talking quantum mechanics with him. He's like, oh, that makes sense to me. And he's like, watch this. He went over, sat on a pole. He's wearing a white hoodie. I saw him split into two people, one in all white and one in all black.
Whoa.